Howdy everybody, welcome back. Next on our agenda here is the syllabus. What I will tell you is the syllabus is kind of like a living document. And by that I mean, let's not think that it's infallible in any way, shape, or form. Um, the most of everything that is listed in there is absolutely true. We'll look over a couple of percentage points for how your grade is evaluated. Those things won't change. At the very back, however, there's a couple of things that are potentially subject to change. Would be any of the, what to expect on any given week, just in case there's some, weird technology breakdown that happens between now and the end of the semester. I always like to, ensure all of us against something strange that might happen. That's not to say that my experience has been that Eagle shuts down for a week at a time. That's not true. It's not my experience that my IT lab shuts down for a week at a time. That's not true. But every now and again, something really does happen. I think it was last year around Thanksgiving. My IT lab had attempted to do an update, and for whatever reason, individuals weren't allowed to sign on for 3 days. And I don't think that that should be held against you as the student because, the software was having an issue. So just, I really don't expect there to be any issues, but just in case there is, let's just look at some of those due dates at anywhere they land, as a matter of fact, as potentially something that might change just based on, you know, rationally giving you the opportunity not to be smacked as far as your grade goes on something that you can't control. So without further ado, let's start looking at that syllabus. First and foremost, right there on page 1, by the way, I'm not going to read to you the syllabus. You didn't come here to get read to. I didn't, sign on to read things to you. That's like the most expensive babysitting opportunity I think you'll have ever signed up for. So absolutely, I encourage you, if you would like, to flip through and read more carefully any of the areas that we don't cover, the syllabus. I know oftentimes those give students comfort in seeing what the setup for the class is, and oftentimes people just look at that as a document that can be filed away forever. Whichever one of those two it is that you are is perfectly okay. I think of most importance to everybody right there on the home page is the contact information for me. First and foremost, my office phone number is listed there. What I will tell you is I am only in the office Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and unfortunately, it's just a campus policy. They don't let me forward out voice messages. So that is the least reflexive way to get a hold of me. Absolutely positively, I will return your phone calls. I'm not trying to paint it that way, but if you give me a call Wednesday late in the afternoon, it's Monday afternoon until I'm back in the office and I'm able to return that for you. I just think that that's a long time for you to have to go without getting an answer back from me. Any and all of the other forms of contact are far more reflexive. I can get back to you very, very quickly. That is my email listed there, e.wolf@rockvalleycollege.edu. That forwards to all my devices all the time. You can also get a hold of me through messages in Eagle. That forwards an email to me that I have on all of my devices all of the time. Also listed there for you is really my cell phone, the 815-782-2285. I have that there for students to call and to text, and I really encourage you if you have an immediate need, go ahead and do that. One note of caution: I have a 20-month-old, and if you are calling and texting me, let's say after, I don't know, reasonable 9 o'clock hours and before reasonable 7 o'clock hours in the morning, I will find a way to penalize your grade. I'm not sure how I'll do it. I would never admit to doing it, but certainly I'm going to do so. So you can feel free to use that cell phone number. It really does map to my cell phone, but if I could ask for just a little bit of common sense and caution there for when it is that you go ahead and reach out, that would be outstanding. Next on page 2, if you take a look at the required materials, yes, absolutely positively, the book is required. The easiest way to handle this is to simply go to our bookstore and grab the new version of the book that we have. It is a what's known as a custom bind, so we actually have it specifically printed for Rock Valley College, so that you don't have to get any of the extra chapters that we wouldn't necessarily need and you don't necessarily want to pay for. That version of the text also comes with the My IT Lab access card included. It's really not a card, it's just a small sheet of paper with an access code in it. If you have somebody who has taken this course previously and you wanted to use a used copy of the text, I am okay with that. Please know that you are going to still have to spend, it's $90 for the access code to My IT Lab. So you're not going to save all of the money there, but you can potentially save some of your money. But if you think that you have a lot of time to go hunt one of those books down, the course moves very quickly, and I've had students try to do that before, and it's very, very quick that they find that they are very, very behind. So I would just give you a word of caution there. This version of My IT Lab, we have some Windows 10, we have Office 2016. If you do not have Windows 10, that is perfectly okay. If you have a Mac system, please shoot me a message and just make me aware that you have a Mac. It's essentially one small unit. There are 3 assignments therein, and you can't use the Mac for that. And we can just touch base, and I will help get something set up for you for an alternative. It's the only time that having a Mac is going to get in the way. The rest of the time for any of the Office components, Office 2016 is available on both Mac and a PC. And better yet, there is a link on the home page in Eagle. If you simply follow the link through to the Microsoft student version of Microsoft Office 2016, you get the following. Number 1, you get 3 installs of Microsoft Office 2016 that are good for 4 years from the time of download. So potentially well past your time, certainly with CIS102, but potentially with Rock Valley College, you'll still have licenses of Microsoft Office to use. Number 2 is it actually gives you access to Office 365. You would simply go to office365.microsoft.com and sign in with your student number at student.rockvalleycollege.edu. And essentially you can use any and all of the Microsoft Office softwares. That would be Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint, and actually OneNote and a host of other ones online for free for the same duration. So 4 years from the time you sign in for the first time. That's actually a really phenomenal deal. It's $90 a year for the student version of Office. So you're essentially getting $360 for free just by following through the link on the homepage right here in our course in Eagle. If we move on to page 3, you can, essentially forget about having to bring a flash drive with you to class. That's part of the nice thing about having an online course is that nobody's going to look at you funny when you are at home in sweatpants, drinking a Code Red Mountain Dew, eating Skittles, fully embracing your diabetes, and taking a course that's perfectly okay. It is always, always, always my suggestion that a computer at any time, especially a Windows PC, at any time, I'm a Mac person, by the way, so I will verbally defecate on Microsoft products occasionally through these podcasts, although I can assure you they're fine, usable computers at the end of the day. Macs are just far superior and nicer in every way, shape, or form. It really is my suggestion that as we go through the course, as you complete assignments, just with a dose of skepticism, throw your completed assignments onto a flash drive so that you have them. This way, worst case scenario, something, unexpected, unforeseen happens. An update goes wrong, a power surge, you have a computer failure, whatever the case may be, you're not missing all of the work that you've worked so hard to complete. I will admit that I am a risk averse individual. I have multiple backup copies of all the work I do, so I actually use two online services, which we'll talk about in session 3. Some online backup services that are really quite fantastic, also free. But I redundantly back up everything. And every semester, without fail, it's like clockwork. I will have, 2 or 3 or 4 students, usually right around the midterm and usually right around finals, which is, it's sad, but it's true. Who have a computer that just went and got an update and won't start anymore. If you put everything on a flash drive, if after session 3 you're comfortable putting everything onto an online backup service like Google Drive or Dropbox or Box.com, yes, it's tragic and it's a huge time investment to get everything running again on your Mac or your PC. However, you won't have lost potentially dozens of hours of work, and essentially sit there having to spin your wheels. So really do grab a flash drive and just as you complete work, throw it on that flash drive. An ounce of caution really goes a long way towards saving a lot of heartache and tears. Also here on the third page of the syllabus is the course grading distribution. This is really the thing that I think most people are interested in. First, largest portion of the course grading distribution is for the software learning activities. These are in My IT Lab. So here in Module 1, we'll get everybody set up with My IT Lab, and you'll actually get a start on some of these software learning activities. They really cover a wide range of topics, everything from the 4 pieces of software in the Microsoft Office suite that we're going to touch on: Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. They cover all of the material through the text, and it goes a little bit farther than that. There are some extra credit opportunities in there as well. Those you'll find rather all in the software learning activities. Next is the exams and quizzes. Clearly, I have a math deficiency because I've forgotten about that one. Percent-wise, that should have gone first. Exams and quizzes, again, are going to be hands-on projects. There will be a project at the end of Word, Excel, PowerPoint. There will be a traditional project slash quiz, frankly, for Access as we get there as well. In that grading will also be an activity in HTML. So you'll actually get an opportunity to develop web pages both by using HTML and CSS and using a platform as a service to develop a live on the internet website. So that is what constitutes that 40% of your grade in exams and quizzes. The chapter projects, these are what are referred to as grader projects in My IT Lab. They are essentially the capstone activities for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access. They are broken down into 2 or more larger hands-on activities that would follow along and kind of apply what you had seen through the chapter material for those software pieces. And the first one is actually rolling out next week already for you guys. The remaining 15% is between technology in action study aids. That's 5%. Those are referring back to the text, and they would be activities on things that we would see regarding topics we cover in the text. So there's a networking activity where you would actually set up a wireless network. There is a disk defragmenting and essentially a Windows PC maintenance activity in there. Things like that. The hands-on are smaller activities that help you build up to those chapter projects. So instead of having 40 steps to complete. There would be 5 to 10 steps to complete so that you can build your skills up in any one of those 4 main office application categories. So that's the grading distribution. There is some opportunity for extra credit as we go through the course. Some of that is going to be in my IT lab, some of that is going to be in Eagle, and we'll just see it as we go along. Continuing on, we have on page 3 college notifications and announcement. The first and foremost is the notification of services for students with disabilities. Simply stated, it says, anybody who needs anything additional, please come and talk to me about it. That means whether or not you have anything documented officially, or if there's anything as we go along that you find would help you out, I am more than willing to look into that. This is an opportunity for you to really get around and explore, a host of different computers and information systems topics, and I want to make sure that you are as successful as possible. A portion of that is me providing these podcasts. What I'm trying to do with these is essentially provide additional support like I would in a classroom, is to give you some background, to give you some ancillary pieces so that you can connect what it is that you would see in the book or in my IT lab to what it is that you'll have seen in your consumer experience or as your work experience. But if you find that this isn't enough, you would like to have some additional PowerPoints, I will provide those for you. If you need any additional video or audio, actually I have provided that for you in my IT lab. That's something we'll highlight in the next series of podcasts there. If you find that there's anything else, please just let me know. I'm happy to look into it for you. I'm happy to try to be able to provide that. This is really about your experience as a student, not about how little I can do as an instructor. So get what you need out of the course. That's the most important thing. Number 2 on the list here is the college policy on academic honesty, standards, and procedures. Simply stated, it means don't cheat because I'll catch you. So don't cheat because I'll catch you. Next, early warning program. This course, CIS102, participates in the Rock Valley College early warning program. So that means at the midterm, if for whatever reason you are floundering or behind or any of a host of different things, I can activate these early warning procedures so that we can initiate more help on behalf of your experience for things that we can offer you from the college perspective. So, that would mean things like we can hook you up with more tutoring if you would need to. We can hook you up with an academic planning course of action if we would need to. And really, those are all just aimed at giving you the experience that you need for a course like this. So that's something to be aware of. I'm not suggesting that everybody's going to be on there, or even anybody, but just in case, it's there. As we keep going, course requirements, reading assignments, the text is there to be read. It really is. Homework means don't fall behind. There really is homework. There are due dates as we traverse through the class. There will be many things due on each one of these 8 sessions of the course. So you're going to need to budget time to keep up with those. As we continue on through the syllabus, really the next thing I want to touch on is all the way down on page 7, and that's attendance. I understand that this is an online course. I understand that that suggests that you as a student had a need for some additional flexibility there, and I am all on board with that. If you think that you are going to, for work or for personal reasons or whatever it happens to be, not sign in for a week to kind of go dark for a little bit, please reach out and let me know. Part of the grading for this course, part of what we as Rock Valley College look at when we evaluate these online courses later on, is what did you students or you as students do to participate every week. So there really is an attendance component to this. If you haven't, for whatever reason, and you know, I'm not here to judge whatever those reasons are. If it's work or if it's personal or if it's health related, if it's attitude, you didn't want to sign in. If you haven't signed in for 2 weeks, those can be either concurrent or not. So, session 2 and then session 5 again, for example. Um, I essentially have to look at those as two absences from the course. And at 2 absences, you've essentially missed a quarter of the course, and I will drop you. It's not that I don't understand that, hey, you've taken an online course because you need the flexibility. You have work responsibilities, you have family responsibilities, etc. I want to be able to work with you on that. But you need to reach out and let me know beforehand so that I can make accommodations for that, so that we can, essentially account for your attendance for those weeks, etc. Because otherwise, it is my responsibility to drop you for the course, and I will do that. Again, that's not something I'm expecting everybody or even anybody to do, but it's something you need to be aware of. On the very final page of the syllabus is the tentative schedule. Those are any and all dates for here in the fall semester. The only thing that you guys would have to be concerned with is, though there are no classes, so no attendance is mandatory during the week of Thanksgiving, for on-campus courses, there really is a required meeting day for you guys over the week of Thanksgiving. Again, if you're aware that you won't be able to attend for that week by signing in and doing whatever, let me know. The assignments will be there. You've got all of the support materials you'll need, etc. I just it's one of those things. We have an attendance day over that week, so just to be aware of it. So that's the syllabus. There is clearly more content there if you wanted to go back and read. Most of it is just either number 1, set up for what happens in class, or number 2, some strategies for how to kind of pace yourself with time, with the material, etc. So you are absolutely welcome to go back and take a look at that. Otherwise, I'll see you again in the next podcast.